Have you ever felt like you've done everything right? You've trusted, you've surrendered, you've practiced gratitude, you've lived as if everything you desire is already here. And yet, the outer world remains silent. No signs, no progress, no miracles. Just the same repeating days. And a quiet voice inside asking, "So what went wrong?" If you're in that phase right now, know this: you haven't been left behind. You're simply walking through what I call the quantum delay. The stillness before reality collapses and rebirths itself into a new version of you. There's a paradox the universe rarely reveals. When nothing on the outside is changing, that's when your inner energy is being tested the most. You're not being punished. You're being invited to hold your frequency steady without needing proof. Because in the energetic dimension, proof always arrives last. Physical evidence is just the delayed reflection of what you've already emitted long ago. And this, right here, is the phase where most souls give up. Not because they're unworthy, but because they don't yet understand the sacred silence of the universe. Imagine you're a gardener. You've planted a seed. You've watered it every day. But one morning, you look down and see nothing. No sprouts, no growth. You start to wonder, maybe it's not working. So you dig up the soil to check if it's growing. And in that very moment, you interrupt the entire process. The universe works the same way. Every time you doubt, you dig into your own field. You send out the signal, "I don't have it yet." And reality, honest like a quantum mirror, simply reflects that back to you. In the quantum field, all possibilities already exist. Your new reality is not missing. It's vibrating all around you, waiting to stabilize enough to collapse into the physical world. And this stillness is the most crucial stage of all. This is where the universe checks your trust, not through your words, but through your state of being. Can you embody already having it, even when your eyes see nothing yet? Maybe lately you've felt empty, like your faith is running dry, like your inspiration has faded. That isn't failure. That's your energetic body recalibrating into a higher frequency. When you start living as if you already have it, the field around you instantly shifts. But the old layers, habits, emotions, memories, still try to pull you back. That's why your outer world still looks the same. Not because the universe ignored you, but because it's reprogramming the entire matrix around you to match the new vibration you've chosen. And this, right here, is the turning point. The moment where most people give up, but awakened souls like you stay. Because they understand. Silence is not rejection. Silence is transformation, happening in dimensions you cannot yet see. You might not see anything, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Just like when you sleep, your heart still beats, your lungs still breathe, and the entire universe continues moving you toward what you've already chosen. So stop trying to do more to prove it's working. Stop forcing results to appear, because the more you try to prove it, the more you affirm it's not here yet. Instead, exhale and allow yourself to trust without evidence. Feel the fullness within you, as if you're already living the reality you desire. This is the energetic pivot point. The moment you no longer need to see it is when what you want begins to find you. You see, some things only bloom in silence. Some transformations can only form when we stop trying to witness them. You are not lost. You are exactly where you're meant to be. The road is just being rebuilt beneath your feet. If you're in that silent phase, If nothing seems to move, but something in your heart whispers, "Keep going," then this message found you for a reason. Because right now, we're about to go deeper, to uncover why the illusion of results is the greatest trap on the quantum journey. Before we continue, leave this affirmation for yourself. I choose to hold the frequency of wholeness. Because when you choose to believe before you see, you've already stepped into the frequency of someone who truly has it all. Part 1. The illusion. The illusion of results. You've started to live as if you already have everything you've asked for. Each morning you wake up, breathe deeply, give thanks, and remind yourself, it's already done. And yet one day, you look around, and nothing's changed. The job still feels the same. The money hasn't moved. The person you longed for hasn't returned. And a small voice whispers inside, maybe I made it all up. Maybe this just isn't meant for me. That's the exact moment when the illusion of results begins. Because human beings have been trained to measure progress with their eyes. And when the eyes don't see proof, the mind assumes nothing's happening. But in the energetic world, the process works in reverse. Results don't come so you can believe. They come because you've believed long enough. Think of how the quantum field operates. When you emit a new frequency, the vibration of already having, the universe doesn't instantly bend reality. It begins to reorganize probabilities, rearranging timelines and connections until they can collapse into a version that matches your signal. It's like sending out a radio broadcast. The field is tuning itself to match your station. But if you keep switching frequencies midway, you'll never receive the return signal. The human mind hates the in-between. It wants to know, to see, to control. So when nothing appears to move, the mind starts creating stories. Nothing's working. I must have done something wrong. Everyone else manifests faster than me. And those thoughts themselves become new transmissions into the field. I don't have it. I'm still lacking. The universe, honest and neutral like a mirror, can only reflect what you broadcast. This is the most subtle trap in awakening. You think you're trusting, but deep down you're waiting to be proven right. And waiting for proof is just another vibration of lack. Each time you check, is it here yet? You unconsciously reset the whole process, collapsing the buildup of energy back into old frequencies. Quantum physics calls this the observer effect. Reality changes according to the state of the observer. If you observe from scarcity, you'll only see scarcity. If you observe from wholeness, you'll start to witness creation. Remember, reality is not an empty screen you write on. It's a mirror of the energy you're radiating. You can't ask the mirror to smile first, while you're still frowning. The hardest part isn't believing. The hardest part is continuing to believe when there's no evidence left to believe in. That's the test of every soul on the quantum path. The universe isn't testing your worthiness. It's simply observing whether your signal remains stable long enough for the new reality to crystallize. When you live in the frequency of fullness, everything misaligned with that vibration begins to shake loose. Old patterns, old jobs, old relationships, they start to dissolve, making space for the new structure to emerge. But to the mind, that collapse looks like loss. It whispers, things are getting worse. While to the soul, it's alignment in motion. So when life seems quiet or empty, remember, silence is not absence. It's the moment energy is rerouting itself, like a still lake that hides a shifting current underneath. You don't need to see it. You just need to hold the vibration. Because that stability, not intensity, is what collapses the wave into form. Reality doesn't respond instantly, because it must compress time to turn energy into matter. It needs you to hold your vibration steady long enough for the pattern to materialize. So if today, nothing seems to happen, stay where your heart already lives. Keep acting and breathing as if it's already here. Not to force the universe, but to rest in the frequency of sufficiency. Reality isn't a race of speed. It's a test of energetic stability. The fastest one doesn't win. The most consistent one does. The one who can hold the tone while everything still looks unchanged. Leave this reminder for yourself. I believe even when I cannot see. Because when you believe in the silence, you're already triggering the wave collapse into your next reality. And in that moment, the universe begins to move with you. Maybe you felt like the universe is late. You've done everything, trusted, surrendered, practiced gratitude, lived as if it's already done, and still, nothing seems to shift. But what if I told you, reality has never made a mistake? It's not betraying you, it's not mocking you, it's simply being honest, almost ruthlessly honest, reflecting the exact energy you are radiating in this moment. Look around you. Every experience, every emotion, every repeating pattern, each one is a quantum mirror showing you your own frequency. It doesn't judge, it only reflects. If you feel abandoned, you'll meet people who make you feel unseen. If you feel small, you'll find yourself in a world that always seems out of reach. Reality isn't working against you. It's working for you, mirroring back the vibrations that are ready to be noticed, healed, and integrated. Think of it as a two-way mirror. On the surface, you see the world, but on the energetic side, the world is seeing you. They are not separate. They are one continuous movement of consciousness. When your vibration shifts, the mirror rearranges itself instantly. You don't have to beg. You don't have to force. Because reality has no choice but to follow your energetic lead. In the quantum realm, everything happens simultaneously. There's no right or wrong, only precise feedback. Whatever frequency you broadcast, you meet it again, not as punishment, but as awareness made visible. People often ask, why do I keep meeting the same kind of person who hurts me? Why do I repeat the same situations? The answer is always the same, because the unhealed wound is still transmitting its signal. Every time you get emotionally triggered, it's not someone doing something to you. It's the universe using them as a mirror to show you the part of yourself that still longs to be seen. And the moment you recognize that, everything changes. Not because others change, but because your perception rotates. You stop blaming, you stop resisting, and you begin to thank every reflection for what it revealed. That's when reality starts to melt. It stops feeling rigid and becomes fluid, responsive, alive. Reality was never designed to punish you. If painful patterns keep showing up, it's not a curse. It's a call, a signal pointing to an energetic pattern that is ready to be witnessed. An old belief, a sleeping fear, a hidden fragment of yourself still asking for light. When you're brave enough to face it, the mirror shatters, because its job is done. At its core, reality is a quantum feedback system. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't take sides. It simply displays the frequency of the observer. If you look through the lens of gratitude, the world softens. If you look through suspicion, it will echo that tension right back to you. Once you understand this, you stop asking, "When will my manifestation arrive?" Because you realize every moment has already been responding to you. You don't need to chase a new reality. You only need to become the vibration that matches the one you choose. At that point, change stops being an effort. It becomes a natural consequence. It's like standing before a mirror, wanting to see a smile. You can't wait for the reflection to move first. You have to smile, and the image follows. Reality works the same way. It's not withholding anything from you. It's simply waiting for you to go first. So the next time someone makes you angry, pause and ask, what part of me is this person reflecting? The part I still avoid? When life feels stuck, ask, what within me is still resisting flow? The answers are never outside. They live in the frequency you're sending out. That's the real freedom, knowing that nothing is happening to you, everything is happening through you. When you hold gratitude and wholeness, reality must synchronize. It has no option, because in the quantum design, energy always seeks equilibrium. And if you become that point of balance, the entire field rearranges to meet you there. So from now on, when something shakes your energy, pause and whisper within, this reality is reflecting me. I choose to shift my vibration. And within just a few breaths, you'll feel the air around you change. Softer, lighter, clearer. Reality doesn't need to convince you to believe. It only waits for you to return to truth. Because in every moment, you were never trapped in a fixed world. You were only staring at the reflection of who you were being. When you no longer fear what the mirror shows, that's when you are truly free. Part 2. Quantum Reveal. When space begins to feel you. There comes a moment on this journey when something subtle, almost sacred, begins to happen. You stop trying to fix or manifest or control anything. And in that stillness, you realize the space around you is alive. It's not just walls or furniture or distance between things. It's not empty. It's awareness itself, a living ocean of consciousness that has been silently watching you all along. You begin to sense it, as if the air is breathing with you, as if the room itself is listening, as if every molecule has a pulse that recognizes your presence. From the moment you stop forcing reality to change and simply allow yourself to be fully here, something extraordinary unfolds. Space begins to feel you. It doesn't respond through movement or words. It responds through vibration, through coherence, through the subtle harmony between your being and everything that surrounds you. This is the dimension where the universe is no longer something you interact with. It becomes a living organism that inhales and exhales with your consciousness. Once, you thought you were the one creating reality. But now you begin to understand a deeper truth. You are reality becoming aware of itself. There is no longer you and the world. No inside, no outside. Just one infinite field, stretching, folding, and unfolding like the breath of existence. Pause for a moment. Feel this. Right now, as you listen to these words, there is air touching your skin, a soft layer of unseen intelligence wrapping around you. It's not inert, it's sensitive, it's listening to you. It registers every thought, every micro-expression of emotion, and with each pulse, it reorganizes itself to match the signal you emit. Space is not lifeless. It is fluid, responsive. It remembers your energy. When you're afraid, it contracts. When you're calm, it expands. When you're grateful, it glows. When you trust, it begins to rearrange everything. Quietly, precisely, without you needing to lift a finger. You don't have to make anything happen anymore. You simply have to be present enough for the field to know what to become. Reality doesn't mirror you anymore. It becomes you. Every tone, every shimmer of light, every shape is consciousness expressing itself at different densities. You are not an observer standing apart from reality. You are the axis of observation, the still point through which all creation comes into form. Once you realize this, you stop searching for signs or proof. Because how can you find what has never been separate from you? Everything you've ever wanted, peace, love, abundance, freedom, already lives within you as unactivated blueprints of consciousness. They are not somewhere else. They are right here, vibrating in your energetic field, waiting for you to be quiet enough for space itself to recognize them and shape itself accordingly. At this level, belief becomes obsolete. Belief belongs to the linear mind, the part that needs time, proof, and repetition. But awareness knows. And knowing doesn't require evidence. When you know you already are the thing you've been seeking, space doesn't resist. It reconfigures. The transformation doesn't happen through action, but through transparency. The more transparent you become, the less identity you carry, the fewer labels you cling to, the more the field flows through you without friction. Until eventually, there's no you left to separate from life. There's only breath, only vibration, only the rhythm of consciousness folding in on itself. And in that rhythm, everything shifts, without effort, without struggle. Maybe that's why the enlightened ones speak so little. Not because they've withdrawn from the world, but because they've become the very space in which the world exists. Creation doesn't require effort. It requires presence. When you are fully present, the universe reorganizes itself to match your state. Then, when you look around, everything appears familiar, but it's not the same. Colors feel more vivid, light feels softer, the air feels alive. Because the space has transformed, not because it changed, but because you did. That is the quantum reveal. It's not about discovering something new. It's about seeing what's always been here, with new eyes. When you no longer need to see in order to believe, space itself begins to gaze back at you. And in that gaze, a new world quietly takes shape. There are moments when nothing around you seems to have changed. The same walls, the same light, the same view. And yet, deep inside, you know you're no longer in the same place. Reality hasn't moved, but your axis of perception has shifted. It's subtle, like standing in a familiar room and turning 180 degrees. Everything is still there, but the picture is entirely different. This is what happens when awareness moves to a new vantage point. The external world doesn't need to rearrange itself. It's your consciousness that reorients, and suddenly, the same reality reveals a completely different layer of meaning. At this stage, transformation no longer requires effort. The shift begins from within, from where you choose to look. When you observe life through the lens of lack, your consciousness tilts toward what's missing. When you observe from fullness, you begin to notice how everything quietly aligns to meet you. Nothing outside has changed, only the angle of light within you. Reality isn't a straight line of time. It's an infinite lattice of possibilities, each one accessible through the direction of your focus. You don't travel through time, you pivot through awareness. And at each pivot point, a new version of the world unfolds. You don't need to manifest harder or hold vibration tighter. You simply need to remember that you can always choose a new point of observation. When fear arises, step back, not to escape it, but to see it from a higher angle. Watch it like smoke. Don't fight it. Just see it dissolve. And as you do, the axis shifts, and so does your energy. You can't see sunrise and sunset from the same angle, but with one small turn, the entire sky changes color. That's what it means to hold the frequency of wholeness, not forcing yourself to be positive, but gently turning toward the direction of light. Every time you feel stuck, remember, you're not trapped in a fixed world. You're simply standing in a narrow frame of view. Instead of asking, when will it change? Ask, from what frequency am I looking right now? If you look from fear, you'll find proof of fear. If you look from faith, you'll see evidence of movement. When you shift your perception, new data, new people, new chances, new realities begin to appear. Not because they were created out of nothing, but because they were always there, waiting for you to turn your gaze toward them. Reality is holographic. Every single point contains the whole, and when you move that single point of awareness, the entire hologram rearranges. That's why the sensation of being in a new timeline isn't about jumping through time. It's about shifting into a new coordinate of consciousness. True quantum creation doesn't happen by force. It happens through softness, through a gentle turning of perception. You don't bend space. You allow awareness to flow through a new angle of light. And just like that, what once felt like struggle begins to fade, revealing a version of reality that has always been waiting for you. Space never resisted you. It was only waiting for you to turn around and finally see yourself from a higher direction. And in that single turn, the whole world shifts. Part 3. The trap of light. When positivity becomes a cage. Some souls carry light too soon. They learn to smile before their hearts have healed, to speak gentle words while fear still trembles inside, and they call it being positive. But light was never meant to hide. Light was meant to reveal. And when it's used to cover darkness, it becomes a golden cage, shiny but cold. You once believed that holding your vibration high meant always feeling joyful, grateful, loving, radiant. But sometimes that good energy is just another mask for resistance. You became afraid of sadness, afraid of anger, afraid of those heavy days when your energy felt dim. So you whispered to yourself, I have to rise above this. I have to stay in the light. And that's the very moment when light stops healing and starts suppressing. True positivity isn't about always smiling. It's about being brave enough to look straight into the part of you that wants to cry, without judgment. There are shadows that don't need to be fought. They only need to be seen. Because real light doesn't battle darkness. It simply shines. The trap of light is subtle. It makes you believe you're evolving when in truth, you're just avoiding. You're no longer being honest with your emotions. You're performing the role of someone who's already enlightened. Behind that smile lurks the fear that if you admit you're still hurting, your whole high vibration identity will collapse. But energy cannot be deceived. It doesn't listen to your affirmations. It listens to your resonance. If you're trembling behind your light, the field around you trembles too. Here's the truth no one tells you. Darkness doesn't make you fall. It makes you real. When you have the courage to say, I'm scared, that honesty alone raises your frequency. Because in authenticity, separation dissolves. Darkness isn't the enemy of light. It's simply light that hasn't been seen yet. And resistance is what stops that light from passing through. The world doesn't need you to be radiant all the time. It needs you to be whole. Only when you allow yourself to be everything, strong and fragile, open and guarded, bright and dim, can your energy return to its original wholeness. Don't fear dropping your vibration. That only happens when you measure yourself against the false ideal of constant brightness. When you embrace all your shades, there is nowhere left to fall, only a deeper flow. You don't need to be better. You need to be truer. So true that you can sit in the chaos, unlabeled, unafraid, without needing to fix anything or anyone. In that truth, light stops being your mission and becomes your nature. When you stop trying to be the light, light returns like breath, soft, effortless, eternal. Light doesn't live on the other side of darkness. It lives within it, waiting for you to stop running and realize they were never two. When you stop forcing yourself to stay high and begin to live honestly with whatever frequency is present, you discover that reality never demanded perfection. It only asked for presence. No one stays high vibe forever. Even the stars dim and brighten again. The universe doesn't call that a fall. It calls it the rhythm of existence. So let yourself fade sometimes. Let yourself breathe, so that true light has room to return. Because when that happens, you no longer hold energy. You become the space through which all energy flows. No judgment, no grasping, no resistance, only vast, gentle awareness, where light and shadow sit side by side and quietly smile at each other. Part 4. The art of staying in the energy of wholeness. Holding energy isn't about effort. It's like sitting beside a candle. If you stay still long enough, its light naturally reflects upon your skin. You don't need to touch it. Just be there and let the light do the rest. At this level, all doing dissolves. No more manifesting, no more practicing, only presence. A state without beginning, without end. To stay in the energy of wholeness is to remain within yourself while the world keeps moving. Not through willpower, but through the quiet gratitude of existence itself. Feel this breath, not to control it, but to hear how the air brushes softly inside you. Breath doesn't carry the message of effort. It carries the message of life. Wholeness works the same way. It doesn't need to be created. It only needs to be remembered. When you stop chasing the high, you begin to hear the background rhythm of the universe flowing through you. A sound so subtle, like wind gliding over water, like light passing through glass, like silence that knows how to speak. Everything you've ever longed for, peace, love, abundance, trust, is not ahead of you. It surrounds you right now. But you've been moving too fast to hear it calling your name. Now just sit, not to achieve anything, but to return to your natural frequency. When you become still, energy returns. When you stop controlling, it balances itself. When you stop trying to rise higher, you reach the deepest stability there is. You can't hold wholeness by gripping it. You hold it by doing nothing with it at all. It's like standing in a river. If you fight the current, you tire. If you let go, the water carries you. That water is the energy of wholeness, always there, always holding you, felt only when you surrender. No practice is stronger than doing nothing, because in that sacred pause, pure awareness rises, and in that purity, you realize you never lacked anything. Wholeness isn't having more. Wholeness is the absence of lack. When you stop searching, everything begins to find you. When you stop asking, answers start appearing. Holding wholeness isn't about clinging to good emotions. It's about letting every emotion move through you without leaving a trace, like clouds crossing the sky. The sky doesn't chase them. It doesn't hold them. And you are that sky. When you truly understand this, you stop fearing emotions, because you know whatever appears is simply energy wanting to move. When you don't block it, it naturally returns to balance. The space within you is the temple of wholeness. When you sit there quietly, every prayer is answered before it's ever spoken. Not because something is given to you, but because you've matched the frequency of what you desired. No mantras, no calls to the heavens. Just this breath, this moment. Knowing that here is already enough. You might still hear the ticking clock, see light slipping through the window, feel time passing. But deep inside, everything is still. That is the moment you touch the core of the energy of wholeness. Not because you've achieved it, but because you finally stopped seeking it. Staying in wholeness is no longer a technique. It's an art, the art of staying. Stay when nothing is happening. Stay when everything is falling apart. Stay with the breath, with the light, with the pulse of existence itself. When you stay long enough, energy doesn't just return, it becomes you. And in that moment, you no longer hold energy. You are energy. There is a moment, so still, where you realize you're not searching anymore. Not because you've found everything, but because you've become the space where everything finds you. This space has no name, but it has a feeling. Wide, soft, and warm. It doesn't come from the world out there. It rises from within, from the place where everything stops colliding, where wanting dissolves into acceptance, and acceptance becomes light. Here, there's no line between you and life. The wind doesn't blow through you. It breathes with you. Sound doesn't echo outward. It vibrates within. Everything is moving, yet you feel like you're standing at the very center of stillness. That is the space of wholeness. No effort, no grasping, no control, and yet everything flows toward you. The person you need to meet shows up at the perfect time. The opportunity you once prayed for knocks softly at your door. Things that once felt distant start gliding closer, as if the world is remembering where you truly belong. No more attracting, no more manifesting. Only a self-balancing stream of energy, and you, the still point in its center. You no longer need to send out a signal, because you have become the signal. The entire universe is listening to you by being silent. Within this silence, every question dissolves, because every answer is this feeling. I am here, and that is enough. Not enough because I have everything, but enough because nothing more is needed. You may have heard that the universe responds to your frequency, but at this level, you understand something deeper. The universe is no longer responding. It's breathing with you. You and it are no longer two separate waves, but one ocean listening to itself. This feeling isn't dazzling. It's soft, like mist. Not thrilling, but quietly alive, like being folded into peace. And this peace isn't dull. It's living. It's pulsing. It carries the sound of your own heart remembering itself. You begin to notice everything around you softens. The light feels gentler. The people before you seem kinder. Even space itself loses its sharp edges. Everything slows down, as if the world is inhaling through your chest. And then you understand, wholeness is not a higher frequency, it's a truer one. So true that you stop thinking about high or low, because only authenticity remains. And authenticity is the strongest frequency in the universe. When you are in that truth, good things choose you naturally. Not because you've become more deserving, but because you've become more compatible with everything that already is. Wholeness is no longer a destination, it's your natural environment. Each time you breathe, energy returns. Each time you smile, the universe expands a little more around you. This space doesn't need to be understood, it only needs to be lived. And so, you no longer try to hold the energy of wholeness, because you've become that energy itself. You no longer live in the world, you are the world. You no longer call the universe to come to you. You are the breath the universe uses to create itself. When you become the space of wholeness, nothing is attracted anymore. Everything is remembered. Remembered as if every piece of life had always belonged to you, just like every particle of light knows its way back to the sun. Part 5. The journey closes within you. In the end, you realize there was never a wish that was out of reach. There was only you, standing a little too far from yourself. From the very first day you began searching for how to manifest, you believed there was a destination, a place where everything you've ever desired would finally appear. But somewhere along the way, you found something far more precious than any result. You found yourself again. Not a higher version of you, but the part you never truly left. Everything you've done, the meditations, the gratitude, the prayers, the energy work, were just different roads leading to the same point: presence. And now that you are here, you see there's nothing left to hold. Because fullness is not a state to maintain, it's a nature to live from. When you understand this, every effort softens. You no longer practice manifesting. You simply live in the frequency that already is. Emotions rise and fall, but you remain. The world changes, but you remain. Not because you're unmovable, but because you've become the center of all movement. You no longer need to see results, because you now see yourself in everything that happens. Every beam of light, every sound, carries the echo of what you once asked for. The space around you grows still, no longer filled with the noise of wanting, only the quiet hum of knowing. A knowing that needs no reason. I'm no longer waiting. I am already living what I once desired. You understand now. Manifestation was never magic. It's the language of consciousness speaking with the present moment. Every time you become deeply present, the universe arranges itself. Not through signals, not through time, but through truth. You are here. The journey closes, not because it's finished, but because you've stopped leaving yourself to look for answers. Everything you once searched for has always been searching for you. And when you stop running, you finally realize it never left. This is the moment you sit still, hands open, not waiting, not wanting, not fearing, and whisper, "I have come home." And from somewhere deep within your chest, you hear a soft reply, like a voice from far away, yet echoing inside your own heartbeat, "I never left you." And just like that, the circle closes. No fireworks, just one slow breath, and a gentle light expanding from within. You no longer try to hold the energy of wholeness, because you are the source itself, never running out, never lacking. This is not the end of the manifestation journey. This is the moment manifestation becomes the way you exist. When you stop seeking, everything starts to seek you. When you stop trying to believe, the world begins to believe in you. There's no grand sign. Just a quieter morning, a softer glance, and a familiar yet new feeling. Everything is exactly where it's meant to be. That's when reality responds, not through miracles, but through synchronicity. You realize now, the universe never responds to begging, but to your state of peace. And when you become still, everything knows how to find you. Manifestation is no longer about attraction. It's the remembering that what you desire has always belonged to you. Anchor the frequency. Write a sentence in the comments, a commitment to yourself. I am no longer seeking. I am enough. When you write it, you activate a point of light. And when many of us write together, that light begins to expand. If this message reached you at the right time, like, share, and leave your words below, not just to support, but to help keep this frequency alive within your own field. Because this isn't the end. It's a greeting from a new reality already unfolding. You have come home.